And they packed me off
to school.
And they taught me how
not to play the game.
I
Didn't mind if they grew me for success. Yeah.
Or if they said that I was
just a fool.
So I left there in the morning with a God tucked underneath my arm, the half-assed smiles and the book of rules. And I asked this
Got a question.
and by way
There we go.
of reply, he
She said, I'm not the kind you have to wind up on Sunday.
So to my
Old headmaster and to anyone who cares, before I'm through, I'd like to say my prayers. I don't believe you had the whole damn thing all wrong. He's not the kind you have to wind up on Sunday. Well, you can excommunicate me on my way to Sunday school. Have all the bishops on the nightly line. Yeah, baby. How'd your dad to tell me that I'm my father's son, when that was just the measure of my words? Yeah. So look around me on the better song, 'cause the only measure of my words. Yeah. Pumping all your glory, you're a poorer man than me. You're not afraid. Whoa. When I was young and they packed me off to school and taught me how not to play the game, I didn't mind if they grew me for success, 'cause they could tell that I was just a fool. Yeah, in the morning with their God under my arm, to have that smile and the book of rules. Excuse me. Well, you can excommunicate me on my way for Sunday school. Have all the bishops on the nightly line. When I was young, they packed me off to school, and they taught me how not to play the game. I didn't mind if they grew me for success, yeah. Or if they said that I was just a fool. To my old headmaster And to anyone who cares, before I'm through, I'd like to say my prayers.
Well, you connect,
communicate me on my way to Sunday school. Have all the bishops on the nightly line. Don't believe you had the whole damn thing all wrong. He's not the kind you have to wind up on Sunday.
Buckle your seatbelts, close the door, grab a drink because Sonny the Songfather Grosso is about to rant. You've been warned, and now here's Sonny.
Hey, you've been warned. Yes, you've been warned. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sonny the Songfather Grosso podcast number who the hell knows on this New Year's Eve. I don't know how many of you are into this recording bullshit, but you gotta hold on a minute because I don't know how I did it, but my headphones are wrapped in the wheel of the chair. It takes a real genius to do that. Oh, well. So anyway, here we are, New Year's Eve. We love it. We love New Year's Eve. I wonder what Adam and Eve did on New Year's Eve. Remember that movie All About Eve? Huh? No? Eve? Okay. So anyway, hope everybody had a good day. Up here on the island of Long, very cold today. Very chilly, very... kind of a tease, the sun came out for a while and it wasn't so bad out, and then all of a sudden, yes it was. We took a little Lucky for a walk and we had fun. It was nice out, thank God, and made it back just in time. I found you just in time. Before you came, my time was running low. Excuse me, I got off on a tangent. So, okay. So, tomorrow night at midnight, the ball drops in Times Square. And the police have already, in the city of New York, under Mayor DeBozo, have already had several news conferences telling everybody, please, and I like the way it was handled, please, don't think you're going to sneak into the city and be able to stand and watch the ball drop. It's not happening this year. And he said it nice, and he says, next year we'll all hear and we'll celebrate like crazy next year. But please, don't make us go arresting people and starting problems and everything else. Stay home, have a party, go somewhere, whatever it is. Watch your social distancing and all that other stuff. But please, just everybody behave yourself. You can't get mad at that. You can't argue with that. That was nice. It was nicely done, and it was said in a very non-threatening or confrontational way. And okay, we can understand, kind of, this whole thing that's going on now with the new strain over in the UK. And I've been saying now for a while since we heard about it, it's a new mutation, and so the vaccines might not work against it, so they might have to come up with another vaccine. So they talked about it for a little bit over a week. Then they started to say, okay, we better start putting some things in place. And once again, around the world beat us to it. And so then finally we started, look, you can't come in. If you're coming in from the UK, you can't come into the United States. So, until you figure out what the heck is going on there. So now 2 weeks have gone by. And then they started enforcing it into the third week. And if the incubation period for this coronavirus is 10 to 14 days, well, didn't we just use up the whole incubation period? So anybody that was coming in to the United States during that time, isn't it possible that they have it? Isn't it possible that they're spreading it and it's going to start popping up all over this country? I mean, I don't understand, you know. So then Biden gets up there, who wants to be running everything as the quote-unquote president-elect, okay, and now he's saying, oh, well, this is Trump. He didn't handle this right. He didn't handle UK right. He didn't handle the distribution of the vaccines right. He didn't get them out quick enough. He didn't get them out to enough people. These are the same people that were saying, who is he to say we're going to have it before Christmas? Who is he to say we're going to have it before the end of the year? He doesn't know what he's talking about. We're not going to have it until April, March, April, or May. Oh, he's this poor guy. Speaking of Trump, a Gallop poll named, they voted Donald Trump the most admired man of 2020. So there are people out there with a brain. There are people out there that understand. You know, it's not you become president and then you say, let's do A, B, C, D, E. No. Let's do A. You got to fight about that for 3 months. And then yes or no. Then you got to fight about B. And then, wait a minute, I gave you A. Now you want B? You don't get B. All right, let's try C. All right, I'll give you C, but you got to take A away. I mean, it just... You know, why anybody would want that job. This I speak for myself. I am grateful and ungrateful at the same time for how we expose them for what they are. You know, we always kind of felt that way, all growing up and all through our lives, my life. And, you know, we always had a little something to say. You know, it's like the weather. Everybody talks about it, but nobody does nothing about it. But he just ripped their, no pun intended, he ripped their masks off and exposed them from coast to coast, up and down, around the world. And you know, so many accolades and so many things that he's done. He's up for 4 or 5 Nobel Peace Prizes. They'll piss all over that. He probably won't get one of them. And now a Gallop poll makes him the most admired man in the year of 2020. Can't figure it out. How did he lose? I don't know. But anyway, so, all that is, unless there's some major changes in the next 10 days or so, 15 days, the transition will be in effect. And Mr. Biden went for the third time that I personally know of by seeing it on TV, and I try not to watch that stuff anymore. CNN and this one and that, just Newsmax, and it's all ridiculous. But he's referred to Kamala Harris now again for the third time in, I'd say, about a month and a half, since right around Thanksgiving. So referred to her as the president-elect. Excuse me, Joe, you are the president-elect. She's the vice president-elect. He's too busy listening to this song. Oh, Sleepy Joe! Oh, Sleepy Joe! I crack myself up. Anyway, so some recognitions over the past, say, month or so. There's a charity. What do you call it? Melanthropical, but they're called Barstool Fund, and I know there's a restaurant right here over in East Meadow on the island of Long that was one of the first restaurants we ever went to, the Grosso family, when we moved out here from the Bronx. Been around for 55 years, I think they are. Borelli's restaurant, great food. You know, I hung out with the Borellis, and they're just a wonderful, great family. And I mean, when you say family owned back then, it was family owned. Family in the kitchen, family waiting on you, you know. And all the uncles and the aunts, and Joe Borelli and his brothers and sisters, and Maria and the cousins, and everybody that you saw in there that was giving you a nice dinner and a nice time was all Borellis, and they were great times, but they tried everything that they could with the pandemic. They put a nice little thing outside, and you got, instead of having to go inside, you got to sit outside, and that was all good too. It was all nice, but the weather doesn't. You can't sit outside anymore, and the weather, unfortunately, here on the island of Long, started changing real quick, even before the year was over. The summer was over, so. And then people just weren't coming in. They were, they tried everything. I'm going to try this. We'll do pickup. We'll do delivery, whatever you want. But, so they were dangerously close to closing. And Borelli's is a true icon. And, would help them out a lot, especially as when the Islanders played at the Coliseum. They would have special nights. But the Islanders themselves and their families loved to eat there, too. So the place was jammed all the time, especially on home game nights. But so they were dangerously close to closing up. And this philanthropic company called Barstool Fund stepped in. And what they do is they raise money, but then they go and give it to people that are, about to close their businesses. And not just here, but they do it. They do it pretty much around the country. And they saved the Borellis for now. And if things change around for the better, we'll be able to have, keep them around for another 55 years, which would be great. So God bless you, Borellis. We're glad you're still there. And so we see what happens. And they did it in a few other places across the country. They were in the news. And it's not just restaurants or bars. I should have done a little more research, I guess, to figure out where they came up with the name Barstool, but they just saved, I believe it was in Minnesota, another family-operated cleaners, dry cleaners, and / also laundry. That was just couldn't do it anymore. People weren't dropping their clothes, or people weren't using the clothes, suits, clothes, and all that other stuff. And so they were about to go out, and Barstool stepped in. So if you ever see it, or if you want to look it up, look up the Barstool Fund. And I know it's tight for everybody, but if you got a couple of bucks to throw their way, that would be nice, because it's all being used for a wonderful cause. And then throughout this complete United States of America, I always forget to turn my phone off when I do this. All the police departments that I could see that did to the news did such unbelievable things this year. They always do something nice every year when they try to help out. But with all the negativity against police departments, from one end, from sea to shining sea, ladies and gentlemen, they went out and they were taking care of families that couldn't afford anything. They were delivering food, or they were setting up places where you could come and pick up food so you could eat through the holidays, and gift cards and toys for the kids, and taking over, different toy stores like a Toys R Us, but that wasn't the one. I can't remember what it was. It might have been a Walmart. I don't know. But, each family was allowed to come in, and the kids were allowed to go and pick out 2 toys. And so they had, while they were online, while they were planning and waiting to go in, they had a chance to decide what they were going to get. And, did that make the news? Does anybody out there remember seeing that anywhere, except for maybe for local? But, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, there was a Good Samaritan in Tennessee that wanted to remain anonymous, and you've heard me say it 1 billion times. That's how it's supposed to be. They went out and to a particular Walmart in Tennessee and paid $65,000 on the layaway plan, that people had all these things, on layaway, and they didn't have the money to finalize it before Christmas was going to come, and he went in and took care of it. Now, if I didn't go searching for it, I don't know about any of you again. I didn't hear about it. I didn't hear about this thing being blasted all over the news. Why? Why do we got to, only blast over the news the doom and gloom and who's in each other's faces and stabbings and murders and hatred and all the other stuff? And, sadly, yes, that is part of reporting structures today, because it is out there. But certainly give equal time to people like this. Like I said, the police department and throughout the country, and these good Samaratans, and there's a grocery store called Schnucks, which I would, strongly suggest. They've been around for a long time, but change the name, will you? I mean, I remember growing up, that was a zing to somebody. Come here, you schnuck. But anyway, they gave away $200,000 in neighborhoods where their stores are. $200,000 in gift cards for people to go out, and didn't have to shop at Schnucks anywhere you wanted to go, but and gave it away to people that were seriously down on their luck and not going to have such a very happy holiday season. I don't know how many of us did have a happy holiday season, but knock on wood, we're still here and we're still praying. But doing the right thing like this, I think, helps us mentally. It helps our health, physically and mentally. Excuse me. So, anyway, I remember when I was doing my Facebook show, Chrissy used to say all the time, could you put some good news up? And so we used to have a segment called Chrissy's Good News of the Day. And I just think as we're coming to the end of this disgusting, heinous, ugly, just fearful year that we just all went through, and heartbreaking year, I said, all right, let me go out with some good news out there, because the media isn't doing their job in letting us know that. So, they did let us know that, and he took shit for it, which I don't understand. But everybody was going to get $600, an insult. It's free, I understand that, but it's an insult. It's not going to help anything. It's not. There's no stimulus even attached to it. What's it going to stimulate? Nothing. And they called him a grandstander, and he's full of shit, and he's this and that. When Trump went up and said, I'm not going to sign anything until that stimulus package is raised from $600 to $2,000. And you know what? They all got together, both sides of the coin. It's okay, boom, we're gonna, and it looks like it's going through. And then it gets to the Senate, and it's completely pooped on, and those 600s are already going out. And he wanted to do $2,000 per person, and if you're a married couple, you each get the $2,000, not just as a couple would get two. So you get $4,000 for the husband and wife. What a nice thing to do! What a nice way to go out after all the abuse that he took and everything. And it looks like everybody's all voting for it. Excuse me, Democrats wanted it. And, a bunch of Republicans, most of them wanted it. But then some of them stood in the way, like Connolly and O'Connell, whatever the fuck his name is, Mitch, and shithead Schumer, and, But you want to send a couple of $100 million across the oceans to countries to learn about gender identification. I think I said it yesterday on the podcast. Is that important? I really don't know, but I really don't think that's important right now. That we're looking to find all kinds of money. This country is going down slowly down the toilet as far as jobs go, businesses, schooling, clothing, food, everything. And we got an opportunity where both sides are really voting for the same thing, and we don't do it. We don't help out Americans, which is what has been Donald Trump's thing from day one, believe it or not. But we don't help out the American people. But we're going to send a couple of $100 million, close to $1 trillion overseas to help them with gender identity. Are you fucking kidding me? What the hell is going on? And there's only one way that you could stop this kind of, activity in this way of thinking, and it's at the toll booths, at the voting booths. And quite frankly, we didn't do a good job. If there was any tinkering going on the presidential side of it, are we forgetting maybe that was being done at the state and city, representatives and everybody else that were complete morons and America haters and everything else during their tenure, and we have a chance to vote them out, and every one of them got reelected? Wow. Man, it bothers the hell out of me. I don't know about you. So supposedly it's in the check. It's going to be in the check this week, next week, and so everybody gets their $600. What can you do with that? Buy a couple of steaks and a case of beer, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, a little concerned about that new strain coming from the UK and how many people have already brought it over. So I don't know. And the more things are getting crazy out there, the more the Facebooks and Instagram, which is one company, ladies and gentlemen, and TikTok is 10 times worse than any of them. They are ruling, the worst dictators that ever came to surface. You can't. There was this woman. Well, she's actually a girl. Well, she's a woman. She's 30-something years old, and she's very, very outspoken, and so somebody wrote something to her that was derogatory and completely the grammar was wrong, the spelling was wrong. So she called him out on that, and she was just a little strong on it. And TikTok banned her. You can't do that. You're on final notice or whatever the hell they did. You can't talk to people like that. And she's like, well, what about the way the guy talked to me? And nothing. With TikTok, you can't even appeal it. That's it. They just say, boom, no good. They've done it to me on a bunch of songs that I put up, songs that I wanted to sing. No, you can't do that. Do you want to ask me, number one, why? One of them was He Sent Me to You, the song that I wrote and composed and choreographed with the music. And they banned that. Listen to me. They banned that. You can't use that. Finally, I just kept putting it up on it's a forum where you could voice your opinions, whatever. It was my song. I wrote it. I arranged it. I conducted the music. I mean, what are you doing? You're banning me from singing my own song, and so that's the only thing that won, and I got it back. But Facebook is out of control. I'd still do my thoughts for the day, going on. Oh my God, I guess I'm going on 11 years now, so, do the math. And I used to get, I don't know, roughly 100 to 130 likes and close to 200 or 150 comments on them, and now they're averaging 40 and 50. Why? I haven't cut anybody out. I haven't banned anybody. I haven't blocked anybody. So how does that happen? Was I too vocal about something? I mean, who the hell knows? But, and we can all get pissed off about it, which we do. But, excuse me, when we signed that the agreement, when we first signed up for Facebook, it was so freaking long. Who's got time to read it? We allowed them to use our pictures, to whatever we write, to go through it, to peruse it, to ban if they want, suspend your account if they want, and there's nothing we can do about it. It should have been a sign right back then of things to come. But I mean, really, it's unbelievable. So there's this guy that's always usually on my wall, especially when I do the concerts, the Corona concerts, and I've been a little lax in doing that, I know. But a guy sends me messages every day. Where have you been? I haven't seen you on Facebook. Where you been? What did you do? Did you block me? What's going on? I don't understand what's going on. Hey, take it easy. I'm on Facebook every day. I put up my thought for the day every day. I try to put some funny things up there, memes that I make up, or videos that I get off TikTok or one of the other places, or Instagram or whatever it is, and especially with the holidays, putting things up and about Jesus and the Blessed Mother and this, so it's not like I disappeared. Then I'm saying, wait a minute, maybe this guy's just not seeing it anymore. I don't know. I've done. When I was down in Florida, I did the 50th Corona concert. I would have liked to have hit 100 by the end of the year, but, with the health and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But, I was getting, really perturbed with this guy. Like, hey, shut up. Leave me alone, you maniac. And then I'm realizing, wait a minute. And I start, going back, and I'm looking, and when the memories pop up, and I was averaging 100 to 140, 125. Now I'm averaging 40 to 50 every day. So it's it's not like people just had enough of me. I don't think anyway. So anyway, I had to get that off my chest. I don't know who's going to hear it. I don't know if it's going to do any good, but you do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Like I said, that shithead Schumer, what a complete three-faced maniac that man is. But anyway, trying to figure out what happened over in Tennessee, that unbelievably heinous and violent explosion that was a suicide bomber, and nobody got killed. That's kind of weird. It's great. It's wonderful, but it's kind of weird. An explosion of that thing took out, can't even tell you, countless numbers of buildings and cars and everything else, and not one fatality except for the guy that killed himself. And then they found who the guy was through his DNA within 30 hours. There's so many other things that they're supposed to be working on that they're not even close to coming to a conclusion. And they found the guy based on his DNA within 30 hours. And then there were witnesses, plenty of witnesses, that said they heard gunshots going off first before the explosion. But nobody has any idea where it was or what it came from. Like an exchange of gunfire. So, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't care. I don't know and I don't care if I got no pubic hair. Excuse me. So, anyway, I want to play, when I started off with Wind Up, Steve and I, Tina's sweetheart there, on Christmas Day over at my sister Gloria and Lisa's house, we got into a little, he was playing the guitar and we were singing Wind Up, because when he started listening to my show on WBXO, I sang it a few times. He was like, he couldn't believe it. It's one of his favorite songs ever. And, he plays the guitar and he's been into music for a long, long time. And it's one of mine, because the message is, you don't wind them up on Sunday and then just do what you want during the rest of the 6 days again till you have to go back in. Don't be a fake, Be godlike or Jesus-like, or just be a giving, caring, loving human being 7 days a week. You don't get extra points for winding them up on Sunday. And so as the year is coming to a close, I think we need to start living that way again, like it was in the 50s and the 60s. Why we fight invisible enemies like the pandemic, and we're fighting invisible enemies like up on Capitol Hill and across the oceans, and this is, in my opinion, I said it from the very beginning. I said it all the way back in April when I was put off on getting my treatment for my prostate cancer from March all the way till July. Okay, who knows what could have happened, but thank God it hasn't spread. I'll find out the 27th of January when I go for my 6 month. I'm still having a whole bunch of other problems, but I hope it's just not the cancer returning or all of it not leaving. But how do you put people off? What about the people that were worse off than I was that couldn't get in? It's like a commercial you see on TV now. And they're leaving a message for the guy. And I'm sorry, but right now, because of the pandemic, we can't bring your father in for his treatment, for his cancer treatment. What? I'm like, wow, what's going on? So we all need to start, banding together and helping each other out and praying more and, hopefully, we can get to some kind of a little stretch of peace in our lives. But like I started to say, I've said this since March, that this is not some kind of a flu or some kind of a bug that just came up out of the ground. This is coming from man, from human beings. These are man-made, and this is now, if I put it this way, we had the first pandemic when it hit and everything was bad, and then everybody flattened the curve and do this and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And it was done. And we had about 2.5 months of all the numbers going down and the curve being flattened. And But also people were saying that, don't forget, it dies in the heat, but it gains strength in the cold. But meanwhile, the vaccine has to come over frozen, whatever. I can't even figure it out. But and then all of a sudden, boom, the numbers started friggin' going through the roof. Boom, boom, not just here, but everywhere, around the globe. And now there's a new strain. Nobody knows where this one came from either. Where did this is germ warfare. Somebody is out there trying to destroy the world. Not sounding like a doom and gloom guy, but it doesn't take an Einstein to figure out that it's coming from some heinous people. I don't, maybe they already know and they're working on it. But I'm just hoping and asking everybody to pray along with me that we get some kind of an answer and some kind of conclusion to this thing, because wherever they are, if they have the ability to just keep making up these different germs and these different pandemics and releasing them on the world, we're never going to get better. And those numbers are going to keep climbing and climbing. And then, it's a scary, scary thing. But so anyway, I know what everybody's saying now. They're saying, Sonny, why don't you just do what the Deep Purples are saying right now? Please, Sonny. Please. Anyway, there we go. Hey, Sonny. Hush. Little Deep Purple. Woo, yeah. Na 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 na.
She's on my mind. No doubt about it, she looks so fine. She's the best girl that I ever had. Sometimes she's gonna make me feel so bad.
Na 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 na. Hush, hush. Heard you call my name now, hush, hush.
She broke my heart, but I love her just the same now.
Hush, hush.
Thought I heard her call my name now. Hush, hush. I need her loving and I'm not to blame now.
Hush, hush.
In the morning, you got her late in the evening.
Love, love.
Don't need it. Oh, I gotta get it. She got loving like quicksand. Only took one touch of her hand. Blow my mind.
What's the name of the song? Oh, yeah, right. Like it.
She broke my heart, but I love her just the same now. Hush, hush. need the loving and I'm not to blame now. You got early in the morning, you got late in the evening. Oh, won't I need it? Hey, I gotta have it.
Wow! Yeah! This'll get you pumping. Here we go. Could you dig it? I knew that you could. La la la. La la la. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Where did these people come from? And they all have masks on. How nice. So, yeah, we're at the 40-something minute mark. We'll pull this podcast to an end. I've been doing some research on podcasts, and they say to keep it when you don't have any guests on, which we're going to do soon as I can figure it out. I'm waiting for one piece to come. And then we'll be able to do that. And Dominic Prato will be coming in at least once a week and giving some of his insight into music. And he's got so many tidbits in his head of stars, recording artists and everything else. And he's quite insane. And what's great about it is if he gets out of control, I have a mute button, I can just mute him. So wouldn't that be nice? So, as we're remembering, I have to do this every day. I'll put a few more up so we get a little variety, but we have to remind everybody.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. They can help save lives by not having play dates. That's right. By replacing get-togethers with virtual play dates and video chats, they can help slow the evil spread of germs. And if your superheroes do go outside, make sure they continue their superhero wing by staying 6 feet away from others to protect everyone in America land. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Very important that we still do that. And, they're actually talking now. And I only say this because it's true, because I saw it today on TV and I saw it last night on TV, that they're saying, wear your masks inside and outside now. In your own house, they want you to wear a mask. It's if you're going to have parties tonight, no singing, because when you're singing and you're loud, more droplets could come out of your mouth. And it's they're going so far, trying not to cause panic, that they're causing more angst than if you would just talk to us like, we have a brain and say, listen, we don't have a clue, or, we don't know where it's coming from. We don't know how it's being spread. So this is why we're asking you to do these things. Okay. I think we would understand that more than just coming up with these things out of the blue and just expecting everybody to just go ahead and do it. It makes no sense. Like, restaurants, they need to be open, and the economy and everything else, and I get all that. but you have to put a mask on to walk in the front door of a restaurant and go sit at a table, and then you can take your mask off. And then when you leave, you have to put the mask back on and walk out of the restaurant. Then you can take it off again. Okay. Now they're saying wear it all the time. They're saying don't have any parties. You know what to do? Have Zoom parties. I'm starting to wonder if, the cyber people aren't behind this whole thing, for Christ's sake. So and this was on, I think it was Channel 2 News today. Get 20, 25 people on Zoom, have your cocktails, and enjoy the bringing in the new year and the ball dropping, and do it on video, on the Zoom video. We're like, wow. You go back to the movies of the 80s, late 70s into the 80s, and all these, there was sports with nobody in the audience, but everybody could watch it from their house. Well, that's kind of happening right now too, isn't it? So the guys that were out and playing became bigger than they are right now, and now they're telling us to do the same thing. And everybody, even going back to the Jetsons, for Christ's sake, in the '60s, they were going to school at home on TV, and the bosses and everybody was working from home. And their boss would just come onto the screen and, where's that reporter? Well, we're living it now. And I won't say the name of the place, but there's a very, very good deli here in Merrick, beautiful downtown Merrick on the Island of Long. And the owner had been there for a long time, very successful, the greatest food. A little pricey, but you get enough of it. They do their own baking, they make their own, puddings and rice pudding and jellos. I mean, it's a great deli. And then he sold. And then the guy that was there just couldn't pull it, so he went and bought it back. And so I'm at my friend's gas station, just shooting the shit. And I said, so where is everybody? I don't see, the place is usually humming, the gas station, And he goes, no, I'm bored out of my mind. Nobody's been coming in since they closed the deli. And I go, what are you talking about? I was just there last week. He goes, yeah, well, 2 of the workers came down with the COVID. And, excuse me, so when the second one called in, it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon last Wednesday. I go, what? He goes, yeah. And he said, that's it. Everybody go home. That's it. We're closed. And they sent everybody home, and place is closed up now. Okay, shouldn't that be something that should be known? Shouldn't that be on the news? Shouldn't a flyer or something come to everybody's home and say, listen, if you were in this place, and if you were waited on by, so-and-so or so-and-so, maybe you want to go get yourself tested. Nothing. If this friend of mine didn't work next door to the deli and was told what happened, who would have known? So I mean, I got myself tested again before I left for Florida, and I'm going to go get tested again. I was going to wait 2 weeks after I came back and get tested, but I'm just going to go again because I was in there. And, it was crowded. People had their masks on, but there was probably a good 15 people in there. And behind the counter, at least 8 to 10 people working. So if 2 of them tested positive for COVID, and they made my sandwich for me and handled the money, and don't you think somebody should say something? So it's not my place to go and say the name of the place. But, if you're from America, you could probably figure it out. But, oh, my God almighty, please. What we need right now, this I'm going to go off with, from one of my favorite groups, Boston. Not my favorite teams, but my favorite group. We need a little heaven on earth. So I wish everybody, of course, I probably won't be doing a podcast tomorrow, New Year's Eve. Not that I'm doing anything, but but I'll be back. Well, I'll be back Monday, and we'll start the 5-day-a-week thing again because I love doing it. And thank you for everybody that said welcome back and made all these posts on Facebook and how much they've missed it, and that makes me feel good because sometimes you're sitting here and looking out the window, talking into a microphone. You're saying, I wonder if anybody's even listening to me. So anyway, I love you all. Thanks. Don't forget, do something nice for people, even if it's just holding a door, saying hello, giving a nod, but pay particular attention to the homeless and the shut-ins and the elderly and the disabled and the unemployed and the people that are struggling to eat and losing their home. And there's just so much going on out there that we really need to all band together and help each other out. So let's all do our part to have a little heaven on earth, shall we? All right, ciao, ciao. I love you. See you tomorrow. Maybe. Oh!
Once I thought life was easy. I thought love would be enough. Now I can't believe I'm on my own. I'm leaving on a jet plane. I'll wait in case you change your mind. You're all I can see, but I'm all alone.
Yeah! There you go. Have a good day, everybody. We will see you, if not tomorrow, next year. I love saying that. All right, ciao, ciao. Be good. Be safe. Follow the rules and break a few. Love you.